Shabbat Shalom. If you had told me way back in 2011, before I started rabbinical school, for the next 6 years, you're going to be learning biblical Hebrew and Mishnaic Hebrew and modern Hebrew and Aramaic and Mishnah and Talmud and Shulchan Aruch and Mishnah Berurah and Mishnah Torah and Midrash and all the Jewish theologians, whether they are ancient, medieval, or modern, good luck. If you told me that, I would have laughed in your face. I would have been like, oh, bye. I would have been out of there because 6 years, first of all, 6 years is forever. I was in my early 20s, so 6 years was a considerable chunk of my life looking down the road at that. And that list of stuff, that quantity of information and knowledge, it was important stuff. I knew I needed to know it. It was good to know. I had to have it, but I couldn't even wrap my mind around it. It was such an intimidating list, an intimidatingly long list, and such a long time. Big goals are good. Wanting to become a rabbi, I'd say, is good. Worthwhile stuff usually is a big goal. You know, I want to get fit. I want to eat healthy. You want a promotion. You want to get into your dream school. You want to be a, great, perfect, awesome parent or child or spouse. It's why we set big goals for ourselves. It's why we make New Year's resolutions. We have this opportunity to set a big goal for the whole year. And, this is the year I'm going to run a marathon, or this is the year I'm going to get straight A's, whatever your thing is. The problem with New Year's resolutions is the same problem with setting big goals. It's really intimidating. Because you're standing on the ground and you're looking up at the top of a very, very tall mountain, and you think, there's no way I'm going to get from all the way down here to all the way up there. It's so far. I don't even know how to get that far. It's too much. I can't even wrap my mind around getting all the way up there. And it's easy to fail. You take a couple steps up and you're like, it was hard to get this far. I can't imagine going all the way up there. So you don't make it. And then you feel really bad. Have you ever had that happen? You ever set a big goal or make a New Year's resolution and it didn't happen for you? You're like, I'm going to make these strides at work, or I'm going to make these lifestyle changes. You wanted to do it and you didn't do it? You ever not make your New Year's resolution happen? Yeah, we've all messed that up. And how does it feel? Awful. It feels terrible because you failed. And then you're discouraged from even trying. But I'm really glad all those years ago that no one presented me with that long, long list of stuff I needed to learn in 6 years. No one told me all that stuff, because if they had, I wouldn't even have been able to try to accomplish it. I would have told you, I don't know what most of that stuff is, and if that's what I need to do to become a rabbi, if that's all going to take me 6 years, no thanks. I can't do that much. It's too much. It's too long. I can't do it. But like I said, I didn't start out with a laundry list that took 6 years to complete. 6 years is a really long time, but 6 years wasn't even a number on my radar. I wasn't thinking about 6 years. I started rabbinical school with a 7-week Hebrew intensive in Ulpan. It's just 7 weeks. 7 weeks is nothing. It's like a month and a half. And in just a month and a half, I learned the very basics of Hebrew grammar. 6 years felt like forever. I guarantee you it did, because I actually did it. And it took 6 years, and it felt like forever. But those 7 weeks, they flew by. I worked hard for 7 weeks, mind you. I studied my butt off for 7 weeks. And at the end of those 7 weeks, I went from knowing really very little Hebrew to knowing all 7 verb constructions, all 3 tenses, and a lot of vocab. And I felt really good about it. It was a manageable goal that I achieved. It wasn't the mountain, but it was a hill, and I did it. Right now, we are very uniquely positioned on the Hebrew calendar. Tonight, we are beginning the month of Elul, which means we are 1 month away from Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, which means you're going to start hearing or reading sermons on New Year's resolutions. And I am sure that they are all going to be fantastic, especially if they're delivered by my colleagues. I know where my bread is buttered. But I would argue that right now, what's most important is not your New Year's resolution, but your new month's resolution. Think about it. New Year's resolutions are big, and they're kind of scary, and they're kind of intimidating. You know the percentage of people who actually follow through on their New Year's resolutions? 20%. 80% of people don't make it. 80%, that's most of us. So why are we going to set ourselves up for failure? Let's set ourselves up for success. So for the next 30 days, I challenge you, for the month of Elul, have a goal, a manageable goal, an achievable goal. And maybe it will be part of a year-long endeavor. It's possible, I don't know. But how much easier is it to achieve a big goal once you've accomplished a small one? I built on those 7 weeks of Hebrew. I took a semester of Hebrew after that, and then another, and then another, and another, and another, and then another. I lost track. Each one of those was a building block to the next one. So it wasn't this huge tower I had to build. It was just a block, followed by a block, followed by a block, and then a block. I just got to get to the next block. And the next thing I knew, I was being ordained, more or less. So for the next 30 days, don't think, oh, I have this big project I have to finish. It's a big thing, and I got to do it. It's got to happen. Think about the smaller parts that comprise your goal. What can you reasonably accomplish with a little bit of stretching in the next 30 days? I'm not saying you should run a marathon, but could you run 15 minutes? I'm not saying you need to be the perfect parent, the perfect child, the perfect spouse. But for 30 days, could you not check your phone during dinner? It's doable. I'm not saying you need to save this huge amount of money to buy this big ticket item, but you could put away $5 a day, just $5 a day for 30 days. It's nothing, but it's something. Are these the accomplishments that make waves? No. Are these the ones that people post about on Facebook or Instagram? No. Are they the accomplishments that in the grand scheme of life you're even going to remember? No, probably not, no. But they're not supposed to be, because they could be the first step on a long but difficult but rewarding journey. And we all know that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Or you might have heard of this version, and I think it's very appropriate for a city with a rodeo. How does an ant eat a buffalo? One bite at a time. Shabbat Shalom, and a very early Shana Tova. 1 month early.